video, we're going to look at the topic of crystals as they're used in the New Age movement, and we're going to look at two primary ways we can understand the use of crystals in light of Scripture. In the New Age movement, crystals are believed to be metaphysical healing tools that have the ability to raise your vibration, improve your mood, and cleanse the energy fields of your body. What they mean is that at an energetic level, crystals emit their own energetic signature. They have a certain tune to them, a certain resonance or frequency to them. One crystal might have the frequency of inspiration, another might have one of courage or of love. And so when you carry these crystals around with you and use them in healing or in therapy, their energy rubs off onto you and into your energy field, transferring their energetic properties over to you. In the New Age movement, they're also believed to be healing wands where you can bring through your own intention and your own energies, or the energies of spirit guides or ascended masters or aliens or archangels through the crystal as a sort of wand where it then becomes a transmitter for energy to pass through you into a subject. Healing crystals harness the life-giving elements of the earth and the universe. Harnessing the energy of the sun, the moon, and the oceans, semi-precious stones connect us to earth as soon as we come into contact with them. Each crystal has a unique vibrational energy that works to clear blockages and ward off negative energy. Here's a summation of how crystal healing is supposed to work according to the Book of Stones, and there's a lot of jargon in this one. When we bring the crystal into our electromagnetic field, two things occur. The electromagnetic frequencies carried by the stone will vibrate with related frequencies in our own energy field through the physical law of resonance, creating a third larger vibrational field. The nervous system is attuned to these shifts in energy and transmits this information to the brain. Here, the frequencies stimulate biochemical shifts that affect the physical body and shift brain function. So the first thing we need to ask ourselves, is there any evidence that crystals actually have healing properties? Is there any evidence that suggests that this is true? And the only real study we have on this subject demonstrates to us that crystals are no more effective in producing healing than a placebo. Psychologist Dr. Christopher French and colleagues from the University of London conducted a study to determine if crystal healing was legitimate. 80 participants were asked to fill out a questionnaire to indicate how open they were to the supernatural, and then they were asked to meditate with a crystal in their hand. Some of these crystals were real, and some of them were fake. They didn't know whether the crystal in their hand was real or was fake. Before meditating, they were asked to observe any tingling or energy running through their hand while holding onto the crystal. After they finished meditating, they answered another questionnaire where they recorded any effects they felt from the crystal in their hand. Those who held real crystals experienced no greater effects than those who held fake crystals. Interestingly, those who were more open to the supernatural experienced more sensation in their hand, as did those who were primed and encouraged more by the person conducting the study. We found that lots of people claimed that they could feel odd sensations while holding the crystal, such as tingling, heat, and vibrations, if we'd told them in advance that this is what might happen. In other words, the effects reported were a result of the power of suggestion, not the power of crystals. There is no evidence that crystal healing works over and above a placebo effect. So what this demonstrates to us is that it doesn't matter what type of rock is in your hand. It could be soil, it could be an ordinary stone, it could be a piece of wood. What's going to create the sensation and the feelings of energy transference and any healing is your psychological disposition to the object you are holding. So contrary to the statements of those in the New Age movement and what the billion-dollar crystal industry would have us believe, there is no actual evidence that crystals have any healing ability. So practically speaking, they aren't useful for anything. It's not enough to say, well, the silicone in crystals can conduct electricity, therefore they can conduct or they emit metaphysical energy that just doesn't follow. Now, biblically speaking, there are two primary ways we can understand the use of crystals in healing and in therapy. Whether or not they work in some scenarios or in some instances or not at all, to use them for healing or for any spiritual purpose is to commit a form of idolatry. An idol is anything that replaces the one true God. Idolatry is having or inventing something in which one trusts in place of or alongside of the only true God, who has revealed himself in the Word. So idolatry in a narrow sense is to worship objects or beings in the place of God, but in a broad sense, idolatry is when we use or revere anything in the place of God. So even if they don't work, the first way we can understand the use of crystals is idolatry. Now, if they do work, we can also understand them as being witchcraft. Because what you're doing is you're trying to manipulate metaphysical energy apart from God for your own benefit, which falls under the category of sorcery, magic, and witchcraft, all of which are prohibited in Scripture. So even if crystals could be used for magic arts in some way, to bring through energies from archangels or from ascended masters, or could act as some kind of a wand to project your energy through into a patient or a subject, to do so is to transgress God's commandment that we should refrain from sorcery.